Welcome to this week's Tuesday training from Move Fully Nourished. My name is Ashley Anderson, registered dietitian and personal trainer and owner at Move Fully Nourished. And today I'm here to talk to you about the top 5 things your poop can tell you about your health. Now, this is not everybody's favorite topic, of course, and most of the time people are like, wait, Ashley, you really want to know that information about me? Yes, because it tells us so much detail about the quality of the food that you're having, the digestion process, as well as really what's working for you and what's not. So let's dive into our topic today. And what I first want to talk to you about is really how do you first assess what a healthy stool or bowel movement looks like? You want to pay attention to a couple things. First, you want to look at the shape and the texture. If it is more pebbly and it's difficult to pass, that is not ideal. So that's on one end of the spectrum. On the other end of the spectrum, if it's too liquidy, watery, and doesn't have a solid formation, that poses another problem. So what we're ideally looking for is kind of like a sausage shape, smooth and soft, or sometimes referred to as snake-like, um, putting those mental pictures in your head, but really just, I mean, seriously, offering you a visual representation of what you should be looking for. Many times people joke about, okay, now, he's in the bathroom, he's in there for 15, 20 minutes, he's taking it up, right? You hear people say that all the time. And what I want to say is if you are in the bathroom for that long, it's really a long time. It should take about 1 to 5 minutes for a healthy bowel movement to occur. So something to think about if you're spending tons of time in the bathroom, unless you are trying to just have some alone time, then it's time to reevaluate what's going on here. So any color other than brown, unless it's a hue of your last meal, let's say if you ate spinach or beets, or high turmeric, then that's going to alter the color of your bowel movement as well. If it has an extremely foul smell, yes, we know that it doesn't have a pleasant odor to begin with, but if it's sending you and everyone in your house running for high hills or outside, then it's something to address because it can actually be a malabsorption. If you're going too frequently, okay, so if you are going more than 3 times a day, if you're going 6 times a day, and again, we're talking more of those, what's more likely is the watery stools. It doesn't really, I don't hear it as much where people say like, I'm going all the time, but it's pebbly or it's difficult to pass. Usually that's more of a constipation. So an ideal range is about 1 to 3 times per day. Also, bowel movements that require huge effort or lots of time, like I said before, spending lots of time in the bathroom are not ideal. So it's not normal to have those experiences. So the first thing that I want to talk to you about is the thing that your bowel movement can tell about your health is that your gut isn't functioning properly or that your gut microbiome is off. So what does it mean your gut isn't functioning properly? One, you could have blood sugar irregularities. You could have nutrient deficiencies. As we get older, things start to slow down. So as part of the aging process, there could be things that you need in terms of assistance, like digestive enzymes or probiotics, prebiotics, just a little bit more fiber than maybe what you're already getting, or more fiber in general if you're not getting very much at all. Disruption in circadian rhythm. So traveling, lack of sleep, interrupted sleep, that all can impact your gut function. Microbiota imbalance, which we'll talk a little bit more details on shortly, medical procedures such as bariatric surgery, or antibiotics, painkillers, medications that you're taking that can greatly affect your gut health. Your autonomic nervous system problems, so when you're stressed, and again, we'll talk a little bit more about this later, that has detrimental effects to the gut health. And then chronic diseases like Crohn's disease and colitis and IBS all impact the gut health. So what are some ways that you can combat this? So of course, increasing the consumption of whole, minimally processed foods like vegetables, fresh meats, fruits, and rich nutrient sources like that. So whole food ingredients. Eating slowly and mindfully. I talk to my clients about this all the time. When you are able to tune into your hunger and your satiety cues, It really helps improve your experience with eating, the digestive process, your body's ability to recognize that food's coming in, and overall the breakdown of food. So your body's ability to release digestive enzymes and other things that it needs to break down the food. And then also practice improved sleep habits. We talk about sleep quite a bit with my one-on-one clients and the importance of quality sleep. And if you're not getting it, it's definitely impacting your digestion. So your microbiome is the second piece of this. So what are some possible causes of alteration to the microbiome? When I'm saying microbiome, it's the bacteria within your gut. So what can impact this? We talked about them already. Travel, lack of sleep, poor diet, drastic changes in diets, taking antibiotics, high doses of antibiotics. They not only kill off a virus or bacteria, I shouldn't say virus, but bacteria, they also kill off the good bacteria in your gut as well, because we need bacteria to thrive. So again, what are some fixes here? Eat a wider range of variety. I always talk about eating the rainbow. If you're constantly only getting reds, then we need to talk about getting some greens and yellows and purples and blues into your diet. Also limiting processed foods, really pushing that over to the wayside, because it does impact your bacteria. It does impact your cravings, and it does impact your next food choice. Growing a garden, spending some time outside on a farm, in the dirt, getting friendly with the bacteria that is naturally forming. Consuming probiotics and prebiotics. So starches are a good form of prebiotics, and also, so in particular, resistant starch. So one example is if you warm up or cook a potato, let's say a sweet potato, and then you cool it down, that has a higher level of resistant starch. And so that is a form of a prebiotic, which helps to fuel the probiotics. I did a whole segment on prebiotic probiotics. So if you're interested in that, search for Move Fully Nourished prebiotics and probiotics. And then probiotic in general really is another way to really help, again, make sure that your microbiome is full of those good bacteria. So that's maybe having some kefir or some organic yogurt. Keep the fat in there, because that has some great potential to offer you other varieties of natural sources of fats that are healthy for your gut biome. Moldy cheeses or fermented foods like pickles and sauerkraut and kimchi, those are all great ways to add in some natural forms of probiotics. So why does this matter? The ratio of different bacteria in your body, and when it's out of balance, can really create or wreak havoc on your intestinal digestive system, and then also on your poop and the quality of poop that you have. It also can impact the digestive enzymes, breaking down carbohydrates, and a ton more issues here too. Your diet may not be working for you. So this is reason number 3 of what your poop can tell you about your health, that your diet isn't working for you. Maybe you're not eating enough plants. Maybe you're having a lot of constipation. You're having difficulty passing a stool, bowel movement, or you have a food sensitivity. This can mess with your gut function. This can cause wateriness or constipation. So it can be really on either end. But again, really what's happening is a compensation. And then processed foods. Some people are really sensitive to additives that are in a lot of our processed foods today, like sugars, refined grains, and preservatives like MSG. That's a big one. Sometimes dairy as well for people. So another thing that I can encourage you to do here to help with this is start keeping a food diary for a couple weeks, and really start to make associations. When do you notice that you feel your best? When do you notice that you're not feeling good at all? When do you notice that your sleep is impacted? What are all the variables that can affect sleep? Of course, there are a lot, but sometimes it's the digestive tract that really can keep you up at night if you're really not feeling great. So there can be minor to severe underlying dietary issues here that can really wreak havoc on your gut or steal your energy, make you feel exhausted, fatigued, tired, cause rashes on your skin, eczema, and really can lead to other health problems down the road. The fourth reason or fourth thing that your food can tell you about your health is that you're dehydrated. When you are Not drinking enough water. Water is so crucial to our existence, but also to so many mechanisms in your body. And for many of my one on one coaching clients, this is like one of the first places we start with because most people are not drinking enough water. And it really impacts your ability to have consistent bowel movements and your ability to excrete toxins out of your body, your body's ability to recover from exercise, repair muscle tissue, be able to and digest the nutrients that we talked about. So, what are some things that can cause dehydration in the first place? Obviously, not drinking water or not eating enough water-rich foods, but also heat exposure. Let's say if you live in a place where you're constantly exposed to the heat, but you are not drinking again enough water for your needs, this can greatly impact your hydration status and overall make you dehydrated. Or you're an avid exerciser, you're exercising a ton, but you're just not drinking enough water to cover the needs of the water losses that you're having through sweat. Or certain medications are making you dehydrated. They are pulling water out or causing you to go to the bathroom more often, like a diuretic. Or stress. Stress can cause dehydration too. Stress is a factor of everything. So if you don't have that under control, that's definitely something to get guidance on and to talk to someone about. Remember that asking for help is a strength. It doesn't mean that you've failed doing it on your own. Also, having a really, really low carb and a really high protein diet can cause a little bit of dehydration. So I always tell my one-on-one coaching clients that if we are reducing carbohydrates and we're increasing protein, that you want to make sure that your water level is adequate. So where water goes, energy flows, and protein is one of those components. Another thing that you can do to help really combat everything we just talked about is drinking water before, during, and after your workouts, balancing out your workout regimen. So if you're constantly going hard at cardio, then it's maybe an opportunity to add in some strength and do some variety: yoga, swimming, something else. Relieving stress. So working through relaxation activities, performing or doing some meditation, really trying to work on the stress levels that maybe have exceeded normal levels or tolerable levels. And then increase water-rich foods, like, again, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, if your system can tolerate them. And then what is the fifth reason? And you've heard me touch on this in pretty much every single thing I've said so far. So it really is one of the king suggestions or king things that your stool and bowel movements can tell you about what's not working for you is you are too stressed. So what are some possible causes? Maybe you have a high allostatic load, meaning there is just so much. Maybe you're a mom and a teacher and a wife and a sole provider for your parents. And I mean, the list can go on and what we experience as humans and attachment to other humans, but it also is your perception and your perspective of how you handle those things. I always like to give the example of, let's say you're in a traffic jam and someone cut you off, and initial reaction could be, hey, what the heck, throw up your arms in a rage and really have a strong response to that. The other side of it, same scenario, you get cut off in a traffic jam, you say, you know what, that person maybe is in a little bit more of a rush than I am. I am okay, I'm safe, I'm healthy, I'm still here, and I'm still moving forward. So you can choose how you respond to certain situations and your perception of what stress and your stress load will look like. Maybe you're not spending enough time in nature. Maybe you're just stuck inside. We've all been inside for such a long period of time and not going out as much in terms of with the COVID pandemic. So maybe it's time to get out, see some friends if you feel comfortable doing that. Get outside, go to a local park, just walk around, get into some nature, because when you're breathing in fresh air, oxygenated from the trees, it really helps to calm and reduce stress levels. Maybe you don't have a great support system or a network of people that you can really rely on to help calm you down or to help really just be a lending ear for you for being able to vent about different things that you're experiencing. So Maybe it's an opportunity to reach out. You, I don't know if everybody has this in their area, but in Elburn, where I live, they have a neighbor app, and it's just called Your Neighbor. So if you want to get to know people or like want to reach out to just people in your area, that's maybe one place to start. Or we have there's some great things about social media and some not so great things, but one of the great things about social media is that we have the ability to connect with more people in different places, all different countries. So maybe it's reaching out. I'm sure that there are groups on Facebook of how to make friends or making friends group. Or again, maybe it's reaching out to a professional. If you need help, please don't hesitate to ask for it. Many times insurance will cover the cost of a counseling session with a licensed therapist. Or again, if you're really looking for support in your health journey and those in your close circles aren't supportive, then hire a coach. At Move Fully Nourished, myself and our other dietitian, currently Rachel, and we are here to help and support our clients every step of the way. And we find that there's so much value in that connection that we make with our clients and being able to support them through the sticky scenarios as well as celebrate the wins and those bright spots too. Another reason, maybe you have a lower ability to cope. So it's kind of working on building a little bit of that strength. I always ask myself, like, is this worth my energy? Is this what's going on worth my energy and worth my time? And if the answer to the question is no, then I try to do my best to just move forward, move on from it, and just try to leave it where it is or leave it in the space that I left it. If it's something that can't be ignored, then maybe it's addressing it, but it's also addressing it in a way that provides, I don't want to say like sanity is the right word, but like provides a clear view, almost like a bird's eye view. If you were looking down at the scenario, even though it's happening to you or happening with you, maybe you can look at it from another person's perspective and be able to just gain some insight. Because a lot of times, the way we initially react or respond is coming from a deeper rooted issue. It's coming from another meaning. If you are having the best day ever and someone all of a sudden snaps at you and you're just like, what's going on? Why is that person like this? Maybe they are dealing with a crisis or something else. It's not you. It's not you being happy and bopping around. It's something that they're trying to manage and deal with. So what are some other ways that you can work on your stress and coping mechanisms? Going for a walk outside, getting some sun exposure if their sun is out, enjoying nature, breathing in fresh air from the trees, low-key music like some classical or just something that calms you, a little Jason Mraz, a little Michael Bublé, or whatever you like. A massage, going for a massage, or even just having one of those handheld massagers and kind of rubbing that on your neck. Some deep breathing. That is always a tried and true method. If you haven't tried this yet and you think it's so simple, like why would, I need something more than that, and you haven't done deep breathing appropriately. If you're looking for some deep breathing videos, there are some great ones out there. The Wim Hof method is always a fun one. He's a character, but does a lot of deep breathing techniques, and I'd recommend viewing it if you haven't. And then also laughing. Watch something funny or do something that you enjoy that makes you laugh and just brings you joy. Or snuggling with a loved one or pet. This is always one that I feel like many people can relate to that have pets, whether it's a bird, it's a dog, it's a cat, as long as your animal allows you to be near it. Yoga or slow stretching exercises that also can be great, like Tai Chi, or again, like I said, yoga, breathing through each movement and really holding the postures and positions, feeling like you are in this space and you have the ability to block things out in the moment to just be present with yourself. It can be harder, easier said than done. It can be harder to actually accomplish that, but the more you practice and the more that you allow yourself to give into that situation and really just be, the easier it gets. So doing some gentle swimming, relaxing in a hot tub or a sauna, non-competitive play. If you like to play volleyball or tennis or ping pong, get together with a friend and just play something fun and just make it light, make it enjoyable. mindfulness or meditation, moderate or what I would say, not moderate, but if we're drinking green tea, I was going to say a different type of green tea, but just green tea that you can sip on, breathe in the morning time, and just relax with, that I also find is very relaxing. So high stress can cause a myriad of physical and mental ailments. It can become a major barrier to your goals and the consistency within your stools. And the last reason here, I think I said last reason before, but the fifth reason is your workout routine isn't working for you. So maybe your workout routine is, there's an imbalance of high impact exercise versus active recovery. You're pushing yourself too hard. Again, this can impact your bowel movements. You're overtraining. There's an imbalance between cardio and resistance training, or you have a completely sedentary lifestyle. You're not moving enough. So you have both ends of the spectrum. Let's say overtraining on this end is where maybe you are having a lot of bowel movements, or there's just a lot of flow there. Whereas on the sedentary side, your body needs to move. We crave movement. And if you're not craving movement, then once you start doing it, you'll notice you will want to do it more. Because when we're sedentary, we don't feel good. We don't feel good mentally. We don't have consistency with our bowel movements, and we just don't feel like the energy flow is there for the day. So it's really important to move throughout the day. I have my standing desk, which I love, that I can be active and just kind of move and twist my body around throughout the day, or do some exercises between clients, something that I love to do. So find ways to move your body that you truly enjoy. That's another big one. Exercise shouldn't feel like a big chore, or you shouldn't feel sluggish about it, or, oh, I hate this. I'll tell you, I love weightlifting. I am not a runner. Sometimes I would find joy in running when I was training for like a half marathon, but that's not my favorite thing to do. So when I get out and run, I have to fight it mentally, fight it physically. But when I'm weightlifting, I feel strong. I feel powerful. I'm engaged in the session. And that's something that I truly like. If you like yoga or you like swimming, do what you love and enjoy, and mix it up a little bit so you can always try out new things. And who knows, maybe you'll fall in love with different forms of exercise. I always said in the past that I didn't like yoga, and oh my gosh, it's so slow and it's so boring. And then I gave it a try. And in the beginning, it was a little bit different. It was a little challenging. It wasn't as fast paced as my HIIT workouts that I loved. But then I tried hot yoga. Then I tried different forms of breathing with yoga. Then I read more about research and the benefits of yoga. And now I absolutely love yoga. And I'm really missing the hot yoga experience that I used to do, because now I am pregnant. So it's like I can't do the hot yoga for right now, but I do miss it. So anyways, so why this matters for finding a workout that fits into your day, your regimen, and really your workout pattern that's functional, that's free of injury, and that helps you feel great. So try this challenge this week, and not necessarily challenge, but start getting in the habit of checking your bowel movements, the quality, the color, the consistency, what you're seeing, and start to assess it on a daily basis. Start to journal this, because you might have thought, I hear this all the time too, oh, I just thought that was completely normal just to have a bowel movement every other day. It's not. 1 to 3 per day. So it's really important to assess where you currently are with your bowel movements. What is impacting your bowel movements the greatest? Maybe it's also taking an assessment of your stress, your exercise, your nutrition, overall, everything, your health. And if you need help, then asking for help. Get curious. We can always do even a microbiome test, or look at micronutrient deficiencies, or look at absorbency deficiencies, or food sensitivities. And this is something that we do in the Move Fully Nourished program when someone comes in with gut issues and they're just like, I've tried everything and I can't seem to have consistency with bowel movements, or just how I feel, my energy is low. This is a time for us to really dig deep and try to understand what's going on a deeper level. So give that a try today. Let me know if you have any questions about the 5 reasons that you should care about your poop. And I hope you guys all have a fantastic Tuesday.